Hi everyone, welcome to Mala's Verse. Welcome if you're new here, welcome if you have been here before. Thank you so much for joining me in today's reading. We are going to do a reading for the collective. And before we get into the reading, I just have a message for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for choosing to show up in this moment. Thank you for showing up in the world. Thank you for waking up. Thank you for choosing moment and this day. So, now, let's get into the reading. Before we get into the reading, take a few deep breaths. And I wonder if my voice is clear. Just give me a moment. It shouldn't be possible to. Anyway, there is some weird glitch. So I'm only checking that out. Give me a moment and we'll get into the reading. I'm just checking the mic. Fine, it's working. All right, guys, let's continue. So, before we get into the reading, take a few deep breaths and breathe out through your mouth. I'm going to ring the singing bowl. All right. So let's get into it. So the first question that I'm going to ask is: we are in between eclipses, and God knows how many retrogrades. I have not kept any track of that, but I surely know it's a very transformative period right now, and then energies are hella intense. So first, essentially we are looking into what is the guidance coming through as to how to maneuver through this chaotic energy or time period. So first we are going to look into the general energy of what is going on right now, what are the current energies which are chaotic in nature. So let me just adjust these things. Did I mess something up? Isn't it? I feel like this represents the energy perfectly because I do know a lot of things are going haywire for a lot of people. It's just a lot of interesting and not just energy. It's interest. It's an interesting period of time rather. So let's pull out the cards for, or let me pull out the cards for what is the nature of this general or nature of the energy in general currently. All right. We have Page of Swords, the Ten of Cups, and the third card is Hanged Man. That's interesting because the eclipse that we had was in Pisces energy, the lunar eclipse. And I am filming this reading, or rather doing it as a live, but because it was a bit impromptu, so I'm doing it as a private live, and I'll upload it later on, meaning not too late. And we have Eight of Pentacles energy. So yeah, the day I'm filming is right before the solar eclipse as well. Page of Swords, Ten of Cups, and Pisces energy, Hangman energy. What I'm perceiving with this is it's definitely around home. I'm getting a lot of home based energy, or what home is for you, what family means to you. But more than what family means to you, it's more so you actually, that's what you're trying to figure out with the page of swords here. Page of swords is someone who is investigative in nature. They want to dig out the truth. They are curious. They are very mercurial also, in a way, I would say. Mercurial, or very mind based energy. And what I'm perceiving with this combination here is that a lot of us are either A, being faced with these things, or we are investigating into these things. B, that's the second option, or it could be a mix of both of these things. Essentially, patterns which are keeping us stuck in some way, shape, or form, especially around if there is a skill of yours or the skill of the collective that we are all together, where we were underestimating the value of that skill, or we were underestimating how well versed we are with that skill, how much we have mastered it, and any inhibitions that are coming through around this subject, especially if it's associated with how our family thinks, what beliefs are running through the family. I do perceive that there is an investigation sort of an energy going on around this entire thing. And also, the chaos that I'm perceiving is the tower movement, or destruction of foundations, and destruction of foundations in terms of the belief systems that we carry, which does not lead us, or does not inspire us rather, to actually step into our power or our prowess fully. In short, essentially, it is also this energy is definitely guiding me towards whatever we miss out on because we think, oh, maybe it's not for us, oh, maybe we'll do it some other day, basically putting something off, thinking that it's just a side hustle of yours, or it's just a small skill of yours, and something around those lines. And this is coming so because I do perceive this could be a deep ancestral pattern within the family. It may or may not resonate, so only take what resonates within the reading. But I do perceive that this could be a pattern within the family where many people before you or your ancestors may have had opportunities or interest in pursuing certain things. They were quite I would say the page of swords energy could represent social media today or the internet today, but in their times it could represent the society in general, or public speaking, or being out in the public in some way, shape, or form, or being involved with society in a way where they see for not for real, but they are witnessing face to face your capacities, your intelligence, your skills, etc. So essentially our ancestors may have had those opportunities, but it did not flourish, or what I'm perceiving is they did not push past their comfort zone. And for some, I am also receiving that some of our ancestors were extremely courageous, they were bold, and they were rigid about their beliefs, and they wanted to share that with the world. So they were very courageous. And I'm also receiving some of us must have had ancestors who were voracious readers, and essentially avid readers, storytellers. They inspired a lot of ideas, they inspired philosophy of different kinds rather, or introduced different sorts of philosophy from around the world into their area, or vice versa, their own ideas to the world in some way, shape, or form, maybe through media. In their times could have been newspaper, if we are actually looking at even more modern times. If not that, but in some way, maybe they travel, right? They travel to different places, and there could have been a detachment with the family is also what I'm receiving here. So it's interesting that the question that I asked was the chaos, what's the general or an energy around this or general, energy around this chaotic energy that we are moving through. So what I'm receiving is there is this essentially some fine tuning within the bloodline or within the ancestry that's going on, because now you are at a step, this collective is at a step where they are recognizing some skills of theirs, or they're acknowledging how potent their skills are, or how they have been hiding their own skills because of certain beliefs that have run through within the family. Maybe if some of you have had ancestors who were courageous, their successors were not as courageous, so they lived off of that, courageous, not courageous, but whatever their ancestors built, they lived off of that. So they did not have much challenging them or inspiring them to continue the legacy. And so there's that complacency energy that must have settled in within the bloodline. And the other scenario is definitely freedom of expression or freedom of sharing. What was true to them was not welcomed, maybe in the society or within the family itself in some way, shape, or form. So there's this ostracization energy that I'm receiving. I hope I pronounced that word correctly, but essentially alienated by or abandoned by people that they could call their own. So these wounds are getting activated because, and they're very deep seated, deep rooted energy within the entire family line. And what may have happened is some of your predecessors or your forefathers who may have come after these ancestors might have had the inspiration or the courage to actualize those dreams, but in some way, shape, or form, their business business did not succeed. Wow, that was a funny slip of tongue. Wow, I am getting lost with the words. No, I am at a loss of words. Wow. Anyway, forgive me for that. But what I'm trying to say is some of them might have taken that leap of faith or taken that step, but because they faced really big challenges or setbacks, their courage did not last long, or it was not, their resilience was not existing for a really long time so that they could see through that goal. And that is why, and this could be actually because they might not even have known why they are feeling such a strong energy around the setback. And this could be the wounds that have been active within the bloodline or within the ancestry. And so that's what I'm receiving. There's this investigation energy going on where either we are being inspired to on our own, or we are being shown certain patterns, certain things going on within the family, which is blocking us from expressing what we truly want to express. And not just expression in terms of communication, but expressing in terms of living your life as an expression of who you are. I feel like that's what's coming up, and that's why there's a chaotic energy right now, and a lot of things are triggering us so that we find that will within, we find that courage within, or we find that inspiration within to step into our power unapologetically. Because Eight of Pentacles energy is definitely giving me this energy that there's something that you've mastered either through lifetimes as a soul or within this life. So and it could be a combination of both of these things as well, or always take what resonates with you. And there's a hesitation in bringing this out to the world or physically expressing it in the material life or material world. Yes, see, we have the tower beneath that. Well, we have the Three of Cups energy too. So again, that community energy. I feel like the false sense of what community is or what society is, or not the false sense, or false sense that must have been ingrained in you through your own experiences or through you know hereditary being passed on with that energy or receiving that energy. So that foundation is now falling off so that you recognize that you can find the right people, right, the right community who will support you, your dreams, who will support what kind of a person you are or what you bring to the table. Everything's falling off. I hope you guys don't mind me being a bit clumsy here. I may or may not take this off because I need space to spread out the cards. Now I'm going to look into the specific, not specific energy, essentially the details as to how should we maneuver through or move through this energy. Just give me a moment. All right. So I have used the Crow Tarot, and now I'm going to use the Spirit Song Tarot. If anyone is feeling unsupported, please know you are supported. You are supported by a lot of energies in the non physical. So just give thanks and be in allowance, or give yourself the permission to receive support from the non physical. So, first, we are looking at how to maneuver this mindset wise. And we have, oh wow, we have the devil showing up. Well, we have the Seven of Cups, and it says choice or ambitions. Then we have the Shadow, which is a devil card in Rider Waite system, self empowerment and ambition. Again, like I said, this is this career energy or skill set that needs to come out into the world, or you are inspired to share this with the world. But you clearly have been, or the collective, all of us, we have been putting this in the shadow only. And then we have Knight of Feathers, action focus. Six of Feathers right beneath that, which is transition and insight. All right. Yeah, so this is again, this is discernment, recognizing, like we are trying to recognize with the Page of Swords and, Hangman and the Den of Cups energy within the family, especially emotionally. What is it that ties us up? What is it that, creates a veil of sorts of fog in front of us mentally as to what is the truth and what is something that's like a manipulation coming through in some way, shape, or form, or manipulated energy. This could be in both ways, in terms of people genuinely manipulating you, or manipulating you in a negative way, or this could very well be, as I was mentioning, that example of someone's forefather or the forefathers of some people within the collective, where they wanted to start something and it failed, and that was because there is this inhibition which is coming through from within, what the person has received from their own bloodline. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that they experienced. So there is that carrying of hereditary trauma, inhibition, fear, something around those lines, so which is clouding the judgment, which is creating this shadow effect, where we are keeping our true desires, our true ambitions in the shadow, because we have this apprehension, will this actualize? And so, to maneuver through this, we need to be the Knight of Swords. We have to be clear. We have to be very precise and sort of like as sharp as a needle in terms of our focus. That's how sharp our focus should be on our target right now, not getting swayed by a lot of these emotions that might be coming up, which may not even be true, which could be trickery, which could be the trickery of our own mind, of our own shadow, to keep us safe. Essentially, it is to keep us safe or keep us empowered, but that empowerment is actually not coming from a place of being empowered, right? It's coming from a place of lack, it's coming from a place of fear, it's coming from a place of maybe I'll be abandoned if I reach my success, those kind of beliefs. But what we have to note now is that the best way to maneuver through this energy is to have laser sharp focus on our targets and move with blinders on. Our focus should just be on our ambition. And so doing anything and everything in your capacity to keep your mind clear. So this means having more meditative moments within the day, having more moments of mindfulness, having more moments of calmness within your nervous system in whichever way is possible. If it's not at all possible, let it just increase by 0.1%. So what I have been discovering recently is, and I discovered it when I started doing it as well, and I had shared this in the community post as well, diving into yoga nidra meditation is going to be very helpful, especially if some of us within the collective do not have a good night's sleep, or we don't sleep well. Even if we go to bed on time, if we are not sleeping well, yoga nidra is going to be very, very helpful. That's been my personal experience, so I would like for you guys to try it at least once. It's more so, it's not that complicated a meditation, and you'll find them plenty on YouTube. I think the one that I listen to, which is very famous because of I guess Mr. Huberman, who who's a scientist, as far as I remember. I haven't listened to much of his talks, but I do know a lot of people got inspired by his advice and looked into this and have been benefiting from yoga nidra meditation. So it really helps you calm down. It relaxes your nervous system so much so. That's been my experience, in the sense that I don't get triggered easily. It is not so anxiety driven to move through the day, or I'm not over the edge. And added onto that with like adding meditation onto that, it's the best combination. So that's been working out for me, and I really feel that could be a very, very helpful tool at this point in time, a significant tool in this point in time, to move through these shadows, not let your shadows overcome you, or your vision rather. I'm not saying you have to discard your shadow, be in allowance of it for sure, but don't let it rule your life, right? At any point in time, and specifically right now, and this could be achieved by more mindfulness, more laser sharp focus at this point in time. Some of us can actually benefit a lot from taking care of our gut health, also, even more, because the more our body is aligned and at ease, the more easier it is for us to calm our mind as well. So I feel like I need to take more cards as to how else can we maneuver through this energy. So this is in general. Wheel at the bottom of the deck, Wheel of Fortune, times the time. It's just this song that I keep remembering, and it's by Harry Styles, and I do not remember the title at all, and that's what's coming to my mind. Changing times, or times of change, I don't know, but essentially that's what's coming to mind. Change in times. We have such brilliant energies. We have the sun, and then we have the hanged man, and then we have 10 of crystals. Such an interesting combination. We have 10 of cups and the hangman here, and we have 10 of crystals and hangman here, coming up again in general guidance as to how to move through this. So emotions, right? Water, that's what 10 of cups is here. We have 10 of pentacles here, which is more grounded energy. So grounding our vision, grounding our awareness about what family is, what home is. Who is home? You are home to you. Nobody else is. In I'm not trying to disconnect you from community, but what I'm trying to say is the feeling of being rested, reassured, safe, and at peace and at home is well within us. It is within us, and that's what we need to recognize. And we have the sun card here. So let me just tap into this energy for a moment. And what I'm receiving here is because it's reminding me of reptilian energy. And what I am getting reminded of was, first of all, this triggered my own shadow in a way. And then I was feeling that with the sun card and the grasshopper, which is the hangman, we need to brighten and enlighten ourselves, enlighten our vision or perspective on life with who we think our identity is, and to the core of our soul. What do we recognize our soul is like? What is our soul's energy like? And reflecting that energy on our current perspective, on our mindset, on how we look at life right now, and recognizing that this reptilian energy, or this crocodile energy, which is reminding me of our reptilian brain. We often, when it comes to mindset, our reptilian brain can be a hindrance in a way because our mind is programmed to keep us safe during atrocities, during times of danger, right? But having that active all day, every day is not going to help us follow our soul's path. So, what I'm receiving perspective about our reptilian brain probably, or how we see as the safety measures that we are being given or we have been gifted naturally or through god or the creator or universe, whoever you believe in. So recognizing that it's a potency, it is a power, so use that potency with mindfulness, with align with the using that potency in alignment with your soul's path, your soul's energy. Let your heart, your soul direct you. And what I'm receiving here is for all of you who's watching this, do look into what your sun energy is, essentially what your sun sign is, and also connect it with, yeah, I what I'm receiving is connecting the energy of your sun sign and your Saturn placement, recognizing how to make it work for your highest good. So Saturn can seem limiting, it can seem scary, it can feel like it is a strict teacher, but it feels like you will never get past this lesson. But what if you connect with your true soul's energy, with the sun's energy, and find a way to enlighten yourself, enlighten your perspective, enlighten your mindset in a way which is empowering. Fine, and by that I mean, of course, if you are drawn to doing spiritual research, do that. But what I am receiving is, even when it feels like things are going south, things are going to shit, how can you see the goodness in it, the positive in it? See the what's that saying? It's just funny that I'm forgetting all of this right now, and when I have to write, it will be easier to remember. It will just come through. The silver lining. Yeah, I was remembering the thunderbolt, the clouds, and everything, but I couldn't get to that. Essentially, recognizing within those lessons, within these deep rooted lessons within you, that or the lessons that you have been learning through your life, what is the silver lining there, and how to make it work for you. Not just look at it, not just being hopeful with that energy being around you or recognizing the silver lining, but actually using it as your strength and then moving forward. And that's going to change your life. It's going to bring a lot of possibilities. World, both are ending cards and beginnings as well. I mean, I would say the world is more so about endings and beginnings, but the wheel is also about changes. It's going up and down. It can bring fortune. So I was talking about Saturn energy, right? So recognize or understand what your Saturn energy is. Look at its shadow and light aspects both and make it work for you. Now I'm going to pull just a few cards more from this deck, which is the Elements Tarot or Elemental Tarot. And let's see what is it visible? Maybe now a bit. All right. Anyway, so what's this encouraging message that needs to come through for this journey? It's interesting that I was, drawn towards this deck, essentially a tarot deck, because mostly I am drawn towards an oracle deck. So I feel like maybe it's ancestors or some people coming through, or it could be an archetype that we have to embody through this journey. Bottom deck energy is courage, bravery. It's the it is seven of wands, yeah. Standing your ground, standing true to who you are, standing true to your morals, your beliefs about what a prosperous life is, what an abundant, fulfilling life is. So the cards that we have are, we have 10 of Pentacles again, and we have Son of Fire, which is Knight of Wands. So what I'm receiving with these two cards is, be like the Knight of Swords had come up. It's interesting, we have Page of Swords and then the Knight of Swords in the guidance as well. The encouraging message is you seeking community, you seeking, friendships or connections or relationships that are abundant, fulfilling and nourishing, that should remain your inspiration moving forward. Don't, essentially get swayed by other things, and other things meaning other people's perspective rather. Maybe they will say that your demands are too high, you are too high maintenance, or you expect too much, etc. But grounded community, a grounded connection, a grounded sense of being with people who genuinely want to see you thrive and would thrive with you, have that inspiration moving forward, have that goal set in your mind moving forward, and that's going to help you tons and tons as you try to figure out these truths also that are coming to the surface, and as you try to actualize this dream of yours, this sense of feeling belonged in a community, the sense of belonging. It's not going to come with you abandoning yourself or abandoning your strength, rather, with the Knight of Wands here especially. It is not going to come with you compromising on what you would like. Remember what you want, remember the abundance that you want, remember the luscious life that you want, and that's going to help you keep moving forward in the right direction. Your heart's energy, your soul's energy is certainly going to guide you in the right direction. So don't give in to other people's beliefs, their fears about things not actualizing, even if they are your well wishers. They might have their own fears coming through. Just shut it out, or maybe be an allowance of it, and then cleanse it, release it. Don't let it stick to you. Let your fire keep burning. Let your inner fire inspire you to complete things, to do things, to initiate things that are fun for you. So that's all that I have for you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.